Top 10 Heroclix of 2018 coming right up. Mr. Clicks Flicks is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of the ROC. No matter if you're in the United States or around the world, Lucky Dice Cafe has a winning role for our gaming needs. You can visit them at luckydicecafé.com or on their Facebook page using the link found in the description of this video. Alright guys, so today we are doing a yearly roundup, I guess, of the top 10 Heroclix from 2018. Joining me today is Mr. Calder Ness of Dial H for Heroclix fame. Say hi to everybody, Calder.
Howdy, howdy, let's get rowdy.
Alright. So, alright, we're good now. I just had to move. It, like, threw up a double screen again. But
gotcha.
Anyway, I got it. It's fixed. Alright, so, can edit that out. Alright, guys, so this is the second time we were recording this because the first time I couldn't figure out that two audio inputs was bad, one audio input good. So we're going to go ahead and try this again. It was over an hour long last time, so hopefully we're able to get close to that amount of content for you this time. Had some good things in there, so hopefully we're able to cover that again. So each of us has our own top 10 figures, a little bit of overlap, some not, and we'll talk about each other's figures briefly and get going. So I'm going to start off. Mine are in no particular order. As I recall, Calder kind of had his in a pseudo
I
order.
do have mine in my least to best, in my opinion. These are all very opinionated for me, for sure.
There you go. Okay. All right, so I'm starting off with Secret Wars Battle World number 006, Sheriff Steve Rogers. This guy, I've been on this figure basically since I saw him. Was this one of the previewed figures? I can't remember if it was previewed or not.
You know, I don't think he was.
But the first time I saw him, I was like, this guy is legit. He's 50 points, has the PD team ability, 6 range, single target, 8 movement with running shot, 10 attack with nothing on it, 18 defense with energy shield deflection, 3 damage with a special. Has Battle World, the Valley, Past, Police, and Soldier keywords. I'd say Police is really good. Soldier's not bad. Past is okay. He has 1 trait and a special on his damage. His trait is Showdown. Basically, when you hit all the targets, roll a 5 or 6 and you remove the action token. That's always good. Although I've never made a Showdown roll yet on any Valley figures I've used.
I've pulled it off. You play enough battle royales, you'll start pulling it off. It feels great.
There you go. And the special on his damage is No One's Above the Law, Leadership. When Sheriff Steve Rogers or an adjacent friendly character's attack, the attacker cannot positively modify or replace their attack values. That's phenomenal. To me, this is low-key Nighthawk Prime in a world where there is no Nighthawk Prime. He's, I think, 15 points less than Nighthawk Prime. It's not a global effect like Nighthawk's was, but it's still pretty good. Your opponents, probably are getting -1 of their defensive values. I like the fact, too, that you can't have them replaced. So, like, no Sinister Syndicate team ability or something like that, where, you have a 9 attack, but you're replacing it with an 11 or something. Overall, I just think this guy brings a lot to the table. He's got a leadership. He's a decent secondary attacker / tertiary attacker. Decent keywords. PD team ability is good. Just a lot to like about him. But how do you feel about him?
So this is a figure that almost made my top 10 list, and the only reason almost is because I have some more similar figures like him. I love this Captain America. I love this Steve Rogers. He is one of my all-time favorite characters from the Battle World set. You say Sinister Syndicate for replacing. Also, Batman Enemy is super popular. So, I don't know what universe where that can stop Penguin from doing his thing, but either way, it's also potentially. So, I love this Captain America. He is an amazing tertiary attacker, and overall, just got great support. Always has some form of move and attack. His sidestep clicks are great with the defend enhancement down dial, and police team ability, never bad.
Right, yeah. This guy's just great. I like him a lot. 50 points is like dirt cheap. So, all right, Calder, who do you got first up on your list?
All right, going in for my number 10 on the list. This guy was on so many top 10 worst of Heroclix in 2018 lists, so I had to put him on my top 10 best click, even if it is in the last spot. He absolutely deserves to be here. Let me tell you why. So, my number 10 pick is from the Xavier School 049 Super Rare Professor X Dreamer. Now, before you roast me, just give me a second here, all right? So he's only 50 points. Okay, he's a title character. He has 7 range. He has the X-Men team ability. He has New Mutants and X-Men keyword. He has TK, willpower, and shape change with basically the same stats for his first 3 clicks. All right, so if
Okay.
he takes any damage from the title character ability, he's still doing the same thing he's doing last turn. All right, his
Okay.
+1, so this is the free +1, is all friendly characters within range, not line of fire, within range. Modify defense value by +1 until your next turn. That's awesome. I don't remember how much he starts with. I think it's like 3, so really you should be able to do the -4 by turn 2.
Mm-hmm.
But like he can TK out first turn. He can also be carried, and if you're scared of him taking damage from the title ability, next turn you can heal him with X-Men. He can also, like Jamie pointed out last time, he can heal other people with X-Men. So if you think he's not being very useful at any time, well, you never have to push to heal, and he can heal someone with X-Men, which is always awesome. He has shape change. He has rollouts the entire dial. On his last 2 clicks, he has an 18 defense with super senses, and he has a 3 damage with enhancement. I got second place at WKO with this figure, and that is why I really feel like he deserves to be on a top 10 list. Maybe that's my dumb luck and sealed or what it is, but I feel like if you can make a good X-Men team, kind of not really necessarily even have to build around him, because there are so many good X-Men figures, this guy is just a welcome addition to your team. TK isn't bad, 7 range is awesome. Besides that, his -4 is like just sweet, okay? So freeze motor functions. Free. So he can move 7 squares, then have 7 range, and he can free choose a character within range. That's a 14 square reach to really mess up your opponent this round. Let me tell you what it does. Choose an opposing character within range and line of fire. It gains immobile and modifies attack value by -2 your next turn. That's just awesome. So they have, anybody on the team. Their main attacker, 12 attack, 10 attack, 11 attack, 9 attack. And besides that, with X-Men Perplex, with all of the Moria McTaggarts and Headmasters, you can get your defenses super high up with this guy's, and modifying their main attacker, whoever you may choose, for a -2 attack can really hurt him. I use this guy to great effect, when it was just me and one other character. I think it was like a Jean Grey left on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I need like a 9 out of 16 mind control, and he won that match for me, so I think late dial mind control is fine. TK for the first 3 clicks is always amazing. And rollouts on every click, I think this guy is worth 50 points every single time, no matter what.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm one of the people where he showed up on top 10 worst of the things. I got asked about that, and he was on mine. But you're kind of you're soft selling me on it. I feel like I might need to check him out. I can remember, I think what's happening is Heroclix players were getting a little spoiled, because like a few years ago, if you said somebody had TK, X-Men team ability, and could give +1 defense for 50 points, you'd be all over it.
Exactly.
And that is what he does, and he does pretty effective. It's just, it's not his fault that other figures are so much better. You know what I mean? He's good though, so I might have to put him on a team just to, because you are kind of getting the hype train going, and I don't really play too many Professor X's, so I might have to try. I can see how he'd be on somebody's list, especially if, like you said, you won, did really well with him. So
yep.
Definitely a good figure. Maybe not as bad as some people made him out to be to begin with.
Thank you.
So, do you want to go again, or you want me to go?
You can go this time.
Okay. All right. So next up, I have mine broken down by set. So everything I have for a set, we're gonna cover. The next one I have is from Secret Wars Battle World number 63, Sheriff Strange. More importantly, the 100 points. I think with the exo specs, that's really where you play him at. I don't care for him as much at 50. He starts off at 100 points with 8 range single target, 12 movement with phasing and flight ability, 11 attack with special, 18 defense, energy shield deflection, and indomitability, 4 damage with prob. So all that, without knowing anything else, actually sounds like a decent 100-point figure. But then when you talk about his first trait, which is Baron of Battle World, Leadership Perplex, and it's a +2 Perplex if somebody shares a Battle World keyword with him. He has Battle World Other, which I think is probably the best of the Battle World keywords, at least in my opinion. I think that has the most going for it. And then he has the Leadership, and he has Battle World Other, Illuminati, Mystical, and Police keywords. Police and Mystical are really good, and like I said, Battle World Other is probably the best of the Battle World. Illuminati's not bad, but they're all high-pointed figures, so not very likely to get too many of them. But he is, even if he can't pull a token off anybody, he's still giving you +1 actions. Then his other trait, which is really kind of the showstopper, is the walls of Battle World must remain inviolate. Opposing characters must use double power action instead of a power action to activate ID cards. This is pretty much crippling to the Blackbird teams. There's a bunch of other teams too that I'm thinking of, like the Samcap teams that really rely on ID cards. and like it doesn't slow them down, but it takes their action economy down by a third. So that really slows them down, and they have to be more choosy about who and when they give the double power action to call in a figure. It's not just point and click. It really doesn't matter. And then the special on his attack is Penetrating Psychic Blast. When Sheriff Strange uses it, after resolution, hit characters can't use or become equipped by equipment until your next turn. Includes equipped characters. So like Beta Ray Bill that already comes with Stormbreaker, he wouldn't be able to use Stormbreaker. But this is really important for like Starfoxes with Mjolnir. I feel like probably a lot of things with Exospecs coming up. There's a bunch of things that really depend on a good piece of equipment, and to take it away for a turn could change the tide of a game, or at least I've seen where that could happen. And then the special on his defense is a stop click, so it's stop. When this click is revealed, if you paid 100 points for Sheriff Strange, which you should have, after resolution, you may place all other friendly characters within range into squares within 3 squares of the square they currently occupy. So it's good for getting around like Mudmen, or if somebody's tied up with somebody you don't want them tied up with, to get them out of there. And he's actually got an 11 attack on that last click with the stop click, so he still has some offensive capability. I just like him mainly just for that double power action and the prob up front. How do you feel about him?
So I love to hate this guy. I've already had to play against him, only twice, thank goodness, and only at 50. I really see what you're saying for 100. I feel like a lot of people see the economy in 50, but at 100, he's scary, especially with Exospecs. He has running shot or something. It can be quite threatening. I've played against him using a Sam Cap team, which has kind of been like my go-to for the past couple of tournaments, and it hurts. Like you slow down exponentially, and if you don't have another character like it's late in the game who can actually call in the other stuff, you're waiting a really long time to pop those ID cards. Besides that, Mystics really hurts. Like even at 50 points, you got to hit him twice, and then at 100 points, you still have to hit him at least twice. But you need to do 5 damage to get him to the stop click. Like that's rough, and especially with the Wolverine who's going to take Mystics in between, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. So this guy, I mean, I think he's nuts. I feel like you should definitely just field one at a time. Maybe they can be something crazy with the Battle World, other shenanigans. But overall, I do dread. It's kind of when you see it in the opposing starting area, you're kind of like, all right, great. This is just yet another thing I have to work around.
Yeah.
Like, yay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So who do you got next?
So on to me, number 9. This guy was he had to be on here. I used him in Team Nationals. Did I do very well in Team Nationals? No, but I absolutely love this guy, and it's Jack of Hearts. Jack of Hearts is one of my favorite Avengers. Just as a character, his last version was not actually terrible. It did have a 9 attack with Pulse Wave of 4 damage, so I liked the old version. It was overcosted, though. This new version, I think, was absolutely excellent. So Armor, Avengers Cosmic, Avengers Team Ability. He has one trait, the Avengers Infinity thing, where if he attacks only characters of 100 points or more, you can choose to modify attack or damage by +1. That can be an 11-4 Pulse Wave. Single target is absolutely painful. Or if you absolutely need to hit it, that's a 12-3. Either way, 3 Pulse Wave is rough. All right. Speaking of his Pulse Wave that he has for his first 3 clicks with Running Shot and Toughness, it is Pulse Wave, period. When Jack of Hearts uses it after resolutions, you may place him adjacent to the hit character. I've never used this to probably full effect. But I still love the idea that it's great. So he has Flight, and then he never drops below 9, which I absolutely love on this guy. And he only gets a 2 damage on his last click when he has regen. So if you're there anyways, there's a really good shot of you getting back on a Pulse Wave click, so there's really no reason not to regen. But let's say you're on the bottom 3 clicks. He has an 11 attack with Pen Blast on his 4th click, and then it's 10 attack with Pen Blast. I absolutely love this guy for a 75-point attacker on an Avengers or Cosmic theme team. And besides that, he was the Avenger for South Dakota when they did that whole 50 States Initiative thing. So I'm biased, I know, but I love him.
There you go. Yeah, no, this guy's good. He's just he's what I would call almost old school good. Like Running Shot and Pulse Wave, I've never seen a point in time where that's not a combination I wanted. 75 points is really good. That's a really good secondary. This guy actually could be a first-tier attacker, depending on what the rest of your team had. I have used the Zero Fluid Explosion a couple times, and it worked really good. I ended up having 2 of him on a team for some reason, and was able to place him out of the area of effect for Pulse Wave. But then also, not to harp on the exo specs, but if you did your running shot pulse wave, placed them behind, and then decided you wanted to give them plasticity, now you're tying up characters. So just a little fold in there, depending on if you didn't want somebody to move and you didn't think they could hit an 18. But yeah, no, this guy's he's solid the whole way around, and then he's got Psychic Blast at the end and with regen. There's no downside. Cosmic and Avengers is really good, and Armor's I would say one of the better keywords too.
For sure.
Yep. Oh man. Okay, so I guess it's my turn again, and we're gonna talk. This is me swallowing some pride, as I so often do, on Avengers Infinity number 48, Starfox, the Chase. He's 80 points. Power Cosmic Team ability, has Avengers, Cosmic, and Eternals keyword, 8 range single target, 12 movement with phasing and flight ability, 12 attack, 18 defense with super senses, 3 damage with a special, stop, click on, click 5. Also has prob and steal energy. Has a couple of traits, but the only thing that matters is his special on his damage for his first 3 clicks, which is perplex, only to modify the value other than damage plus 2. So he's got a 14 attack, or friends basically always have a 13 or a 14 attack. That stop click really makes him solid, and people love pairing him up with Mjolnir for good reason. And then he also gives your Unimind Flurry. This guy, I didn't think about pairing him up with Mjolnir at first, but apparently that was the thing to do, and it's hard to argue whenever this guy shows up on so many teams. This would be, I don't want to say the best figure of 2018, but definitely I'd say top 5.
I mean, all right, so this guy hurts to play against. He's another character we really have to think, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's another 2-shot. You got to hit him at least twice, and that's hoping he doesn't make his super senses roll. You got to be like, I really hope you don't get a 5 or 6. Now, I do like Angel as Colin, who can't 2-shot him, but can at least make it a little bit harder for super senses. But once again, even if you don't finish this guy off in one turn, he has Flurry with Steal Energy. So if you end up adjacent to him, and most likely he has Mjolnir, so if you're adjacent and he has Mjolnir, well, buddy, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
So, like, just every time I've got to deal with this guy, it really just kind of sucks. And I don't like dealing with him. And, he's rough. Any character where I really have to work around, besides that, plus 2 perplex, even if it's not for damage, is gross. I mean, he's sitting at a 20 defense, or he's bumping his attack up, or anybody else's attack up to 13s, 14s. Power Cosmic always sucks to play against, but it's super popular right now, so what are you going to do about it? I have nothing but bad things to say about him, but that just means how good he is.
Right, yeah, and plus, I mean, that 12 movement with phasing and flight ability makes him, he's a good taxi. And at 80 points, you might have enough on your team to bother, you might have somebody worth carrying for him to save an action.
Oh, for sure.
So, yeah, this guy's just, he's good, and there's just no getting around it. Nothing that I can say hasn't already been said about this figure. All right, so
number 7 on my list. This chick, there's no way I couldn't put her on my list, is 061 from the Batman animated series, Zatanna. I absolutely love her. I used her a lot in like 400-point matches with God of Apocalypse, Sexy Lexi, I love her. So for 75 points, this is what you get. 6 range, Mystics, Celebrity, Justice League, Mystical keywords. She has a Justice League Unlimited trait. That's not amazing, and that's not why you're playing her. She has a special attack power for her first 2 clicks and sidestep with an 18 super senses, and then a special damage power on her first and 3rd click. So top dial, it's amazing stuff right here. Her special attack power is Penetrating Psychic Blast, Telekinesis, free, generate a Bat Bystander. Now, the Bat Bystanders have Sidestep, Shape Change, and Enhancement. So it is a max 2, but a plus 2 to damage. All right, now let's look at her damage power. Perplex, Probability Control. So even by herself, for only 75 points, if you use her Perplex on herself, she is a Sidestep, 11 attack, 4 damage, Penetrating Psychic Blast with 2 bats. That is insane for a 75-point piece. Not to mention, your main attacker is also going to have that same prob, or you can boost their attack up to a 13 or 12, whatever they might be at, And they also get plus 2 to damage once you get 2 bats out. TK and Sidestep's amazing. When she gets down dial, it is pretty rough. But if you're good with rollouts, she has a rollout on every single click, by the way. Sometimes she has 2 rollouts. I absolutely love her. I think she is amazing. Mystic Ability always hurts. So she is, and Sculpt too. She's like everything for me.
Yeah. No, this is a really good figure. This one was also on my top 10. I used her to really good effect for, I think, the ROC West Virginia State Championship. Was Batman the Animated Series Sealed. And she's just phenomenal. I used her at 75 points. I feel like that's the only point value you use her at.
Oh yeah,
sure. You know, she's a good secondary attacker / support figure. Like, you're getting almost 2 figures for one. The bats, I believe, are tiny, so they don't really like tie anybody up in the traditional sense. But
Right.
if you can place them adjacent to somebody that doesn't have, you know, running shot, hypersonic, or charge, you know, you basically make it so that they have to attack the bat. They can't attack, you know, a different figure, which can be a big deal because the bats aren't worth any points. They don't get anything
Exactly.
for doing it. They're just wasting actions. She's definitely one of the better figures from 2018.
All right.
So I guess it's my turn. We're gonna do another one from Avengers Infinity. This one is number 40, Golden Skull. This one, I'll be honest, I was a Johnny Come Lately to the Gospel of Golden Skull. It was from Dark Logos on Starting Over podcast, where I first, you know, heard about him, and then I was like, oh well, okay. This, you know, there might be something to this guy. So he starts off, he's 50 points, has the armor, future, and pirate keywords, 4 range, single target, 7 movement with sidestep, 10 attack, 17 defense, mastermind, 2 damage with a special. Doesn't sound that great when when you say it like
Right.
that, but then you start looking, okay, his trait, he has a trait, which is at the beginning of the game, generate 2 Deathbot bystanders. If Golden Skull is on the map, Deathbot's actions don't count against your action total. So I guess this was right before they came out with that autonomous thing, so they were kind of giving that beforehand. But they have a 9 attack with Psychic Blast for 2 damage, which is pretty good. And then his special on his damage is Perplex, Leadership, adjacent friendly characters modify attack +1. So so it is it's global. So like if you have both those Deathbots adjacent to him, they get +1 attacks to get up to a 10, or whoever it is you're using. I think I used this guy against you one time.
You did, and it hurt.
Yeah, but this guy's just, there are so many teams that this guy's good on, and that leadership helps. And like we discussed, the armor keywords pretty good, that he could be a legit helper.
So armor keyword is my go-to with this guy. I've used him. You know, I'm a guy who still tries to make his favorite Heroclix work. I want Captain Iron America to be good. I put him on a team with this guy, and he was pretty solid. I don't think competitive, but super fun. I love this dude. He was in a comic that I sort of got into and really enjoyed. Besides that, he's like a dude wearing a bathrobe, all Hugh Hefner like. I mean, I love this guy's everything. He's consistent the entire dial. Sidestep, mastermind, special damage. Perplex and leadership's always good. And you get a +1 to attack. So he's already given you a passive +1 to attack. The next one can go into attack or into damage, however you choose. Those Deathbots are no joke, especially when they're right next to him. I mean, nuts. I love this guy. Love him to death.
Yep. Yeah, definitely a good one.
So next up on my list, basically the number 6 spot right here is this is another just fan favorite for me. The fact that they made her is just amazing. It is WizKids LE whatever number 18 Gwenpool. I haven't got my hands on one yet, so this is me just talking about how much I think it's cool that she exists. She's 85 points. She has Indom. She has 6 range and 2 bolts, which is great because she has running shot, 11 attack, energy explosion, 17 toughness, 3 damage with probability control. She has running shot, energy explosion, toughness, and prob. Her first 3 clicks. So it's super easy to memorize the style. Her next 3 clicks are all sidestep, precision strike, special defense, special damage. So let me read the trait for you first. She has shape change, traded, and she's a wild card. And you can instead choose a team ability that an opposing character can use. So let's say you have like a bunch of police and stuff on your team, or whatever you can get with Assassin, Batrock's Brigade, and Modoc's 11. All right. Maybe they have Hydra, you know, or I guess Hydra's police. Maybe they have Shield. That's a better one. So maybe, you know, if they have a team ability, or even X-Men for some reason, I don't know. If there's an Assassin with X-Men, maybe that's what you're doing. But if they have a better team ability to copy, then by all means copy it. If you're playing Golden Age and they have an ATA that you want to copy, you can also copy that. Albeit I don't think you can use it unless you have the keywords, but still, it's pretty sweet. All right. So being able to copy literally anything on the board is fantastic. Her special damage power, which I absolutely love, is we're losing, it's time to cheat, which is a beautiful name in the game of Heroclix. Super senses. Once per turn, when an opposing character within range and line of fire rolls an attack roll, and one of the die result is a 6, you may place the die showing a 6 on this card. When Gwenpool rolls for super senses, you may remove the die on this card and replace that with your super senses roll. So if they ever attack someone that isn't Gwenpool, like if they decide that she's not the biggest threat when she only has like a sidestep, 10 attack, 2 damage, which isn't the biggest threat. I mean, for Batroc Brigade, there are potentially bigger ones, Jakar and stuff. If they attack them and they're like, smokes, I rolled a 6. That really sucks. Because now she instantly gets out of a super senses roll. Unless they roll a crit hit, then that's the only way she's not getting out of it. Because even with precision strike, boom, she's got it, and it's absolutely amazing. So it makes your opponent think, and if they don't look at it or they just like scoff at it, like whatever, like that's ever gonna happen, and you catch them off guard with that, that brings her survivability up to a whole new level because she also has shape change. Don't forget about that, guys. Trading shape change is epic. I love it. Her special damage power with her sidestep is range combat expert and improved targeting Norse characters. So a lot of Batroc's Brigade are really close combat, like oriented figures, and I love how well this works for the rest of them because they're all going to be swarming whatever figure, and if you want to still take shots at that character, you can. You can boom, blackout, shoot through them, and if they're trying to block you off with one of their characters, boom, shoot through them. She does not care. They're also pink and white powers, which is great because that's what her costume is, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, sidestep, range combat expert, make that in 11-3 or 12-2, whatever if you really want to make sure you hit. She's awesome. I think all around for 85 points, I can't wait to play her because she just looks fun, and that's what I absolutely love about this game. It's just having fun, man.
Yeah, I agree. She's not one of my personal favorites. Well, I can definitely see what you're saying. She's only 85 points, so she doesn't even have to be your main attacker or anything like that. And she has some supporty power. She has probability control, and like you said, with the PD team ability or something, depending on what team ability you can get her to pick. She might be able to help you with some stuff like that. And then, the improved targeting ignores characters is actually really, there aren't many figures that have improved targeting ignores characters.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, so that's just really good. The dual target energy explosion is always good. She's just solid for 85 points. She's not bad, and definitely a fun pick. I like her a lot. So let me see here. My next pick is something that I wouldn't have thought I was going to pick, but based on how Heroclix Worlds went, I have to have him on here, is number G017 from Avengers Infinity, Giganto and Namor. More specifically, the 50-point line. Starts off with a 6 movement with sidestep, 10 attack, also with the dolphin symbol. 18 defense with invincible, indomitability, 3 damage, leadership, colossal, animal, Atlantis, and monster keywords. The champ used monster theme team.
Yep.
Then he has a trait, which is mass destruction, super strength. When Giganto and Namor are given a move action, after resolution, destroy all adjacent pieces of blocking terrain. Then they can use Quake at no cost. So basically you have an 8 movement Quake, sort of like that 50-point Hulk from Thor. And then he ends up having a special on his attack, which is Energy Explosion with a range of 4. Hit characters are also given action tokens. That can be devastating. Then on his last click, he has Toughness and Colossal Retaliation. Overall, this guy's not bad. His attack values aren't impressive, but his survivability is. And just the handing out tokens is annoying, and basically getting to attack potentially two times in a turn can also be super annoying. So, you take it away, Calder. What do you feel about this guy?
I hate him. I love to hate him. A lot of figures that I play against, I kind of hate, but that just speaks to how good they are once again. So sidestep's never bad. He can potentially attack twice, but only moves 6 squares. If you do not, so I normally run Alpha Strike style teams. If you do not have Outwit on your team, you have to hit him 3 times to take him out, because Invincible only lets you take 3, and then he lands right before his stop click, and that is frustrating and irritating, and all sorts of swear words I don't want to say and get demonetized. So, I mean, a 50-point with leadership, when you're running a couple of whales, and especially if you have the rest of the team, you're taking tokens off higher point characters with Monster, you're taking tokens off other whales. I mean, he's nuts. I think for 50... he's just enough to be annoying, and I don't know. I don't have any more nice things to say because I hate playing against this so much.
Yeah. I think the last thing I have would be maybe just the 50-point line is good for call-ins, for the X-Men call-ins. That's probably
absolutely.
the last thing we didn't talk about. But yeah.
Sidestep 50 points is always awesome. These X-Men call-ins to boop them away.
Yep.
So my number, I think 5. So we're halfway here, folks. We're halfway there. This is another one that I just like. I just like that this figure exists, and this is probably one of my favorite sculpts of this year, and that is Secret Wars Battle World 038 Rare Iron Man. So this is a steampunk Iron Man. He also has the Showdown trait, like that Sheriff Steve Rogers has. So on a 5 or 6, you remove an action token. Now you have to hit all targets, and his big thing is Quake. What I like is that I always thought he was 100 points. I don't know why, but I was like, man, sculpts like that, and then a dial like this, that's got to be 100. And when I finally opened my eyes and quit, letting the fog of war get in the way, he's only 80 points. So if you're like me and not the brightest light bulb in the barn, 80 points is awesome for this guy. So he has charge, 11 attack with the special, 18 defense with impervious, and then 4 damage. That's an insane top dial for me for 80 points. So he has a special attack power, his entire dial, and he always has an 11 attack or a 10 attack. So he's an 11 on his end dial, which his stats are the exact same at the end as they're at the top. And then sort of in the middle, it all goes to 10-3, all right? Mm-hmm. His special attack power is Quake, period. When Iron Man uses it, after resolutions, if there are no opposing characters adjacent to him, he may make a ranged attack, but only to target a character he is not attacked this turn. So he runs up, he charges, he quakes, he can single target quake somebody for 4 damage, and then boom, he can shoot their taxi or something, right? That's awesome, right? So he can shoot again, another 11 attack, 4 damage, okay? And if he removes a token, this is after actions resolve, right? Mm-hmm. He can remove a token potentially twice in one turn, right? So he gets 1 token for the charge quake. And then, even though it's a free attack, if it's just whenever he makes an attack, he can remove a token. So He quakes, hits somebody, potentially remove a token. If he doesn't, he can try again, which significantly makes up for his lack of willpower. Mm-hmm. Whenever he takes any kind of damage, he instantly goes into sidestep. He doesn't totally fold toughness right away. He has some vulnerability. And then he also has some support powers with outwit and perplex in there. I think he's great. Probably best on a armor or scientist themed team. I don't want to sleep on past too much, but it's not really that prevalent. Mm-hmm. Besides that, his sculpt is absolutely gorgeous. And if you play as many battle royales as I have, you know this guy is just awesome in Secret Wars battle royales. That's what I'd say about this piece.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I like anybody that watches the channel a lot knows that I like scientist keyword, and it's really hard to find close combat scientists that aren't named Spider-Man, and it's even harder to find ones that have heavy reducers like impervious, at least top dial. So that's where this guy is at 80 points. He's not terrible. I mean, an 11 attack with charge for 4 damage is good with the quake, and then potential second attack, and then remove tokens when you're done. It's just phenomenal. And I would say this is probably the best sculpt. I believe this is the best sculpt from Secret Wars Battle World. I can't think of a sculpt I like better, which is really surprising considering that it's a rare.
Only a rare, folks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's good. All right, so the next one for me is I guess sort of a point of contention for some people, but I think you're going to be seeing him a lot, is Batman the Animated Series number 59, The Gray Ghost, most specifically at his 40-point dial. I don't think you're going to see him too much. I think 75 is his higher one, which is good, just not as effective as this one. So for 40 points, you get the Batman Ally Team ability, 7 movement with plasticity, 10 attack with precision strike, 16 defense with energy shield deflection, 2 damage with close combat expert, Batman family, celebrity, detective, Gotham City, Justice Society, and police keywords. So police is definitely his strongest one. Batman family is not bad. Neither is Gotham City, and celebrity's okay, not great. I like using celebrity just for fun, but it's a fool's errand.
Right.
But he's got 2 traits and a special on his damage. His first trait is pretty good if you can put him on a team with a Batman. If there's another character named Batman or Bruce Wayne, anytime that character or Grey Ghost attacks, double 3s, double 4s, double 5s, or double 6s are all considered crit hits, which is phenomenal. So it's basically anything other than crit miss or double 2s you're hitting. So that's good. But his main showstopper is his other trait, which is, hey, we don't need more extras in this scene. While Grey Ghost is on the map, characters can't generate bystanders if a bystander of that name is already on the map. If a character generates multiple bystanders at once, they can generate the first one. That is phenomenal. That stops Groot, that stops Starro, that stops a ton of things just from mass spamming. What's the other one that I'm trying to think of? Devil Dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just stuff like that. It like stops it cold. It's just that really hurts Starro, which is probably the most prevalent figure in the meta right now. So it's just helpful. And Groot's also pretty prevalent, and it gets rid of a lot of his shenanigans too. And then if you feel like pushing him, which you might, to click 3 at the 40-point dial, his special has Outwit and Perplex. For 40 points, just the trait alone is worth it. And then, not that he's, a 16 defense isn't particularly high, but the 7 movement with plasticity might make it so that your opponent doesn't want to risk their hypersonic figure and chooses a different route so that you can, kind of bait them into going a particular direction. So
Right.
I feel like we're going to see this guy a lot if we start seeing more Starros. What do you think?
So I'm gonna be real. I want to see more of this guy. I mean, I think Precision Strike, Close Combat Expert, any character that can do 4 clicks of damage top dial, I think is pretty good. Stealth makes it great because there's not a lot of sees through stealth. So I think this guy, for the most part, is like safe from most attacks. There isn't a lot of Collins that can see through stealth, and there aren't a lot of main force characters that see through stealth either. I honestly think it's weird there's not more stealth in the competitive scene. Any character that can crit hit, I mean, like, the odds of you crit hitting and doing more damage is also phenomenal. Albeit, you're probably not going to use this guy as an attacker that much, but you shouldn't shy away that if someone gets in his territory, to, maybe rough him up a little bit, the old Silver Age type deal.
Yep.
I like bystanders. I really do enjoy, like, making a lot of bystanders and flooding the field. And he's just like, hey, don't do that. I'm like, he got me there, foiled once again. Like, it's great what he does, especially for only 40 points, how he messes with bystanders. And Outwit and Perplex is never bad. I'm absolutely a fan of this guy. I did just notice, now that I'm looking at it again, he's Gray Ghost with an A. And I do like saying Gray with an E, and so does whoever made the special power, the trait names, because he spells Gray Ghost with an E the entire time. I think that's hilarious.
Yes, that is that's funny.
That's what I got to say about this guy. So moving on to my pick. This is the only... Okay, that's a lie. But this is one of the only multi-base figures on the pick for a year that we got a surplus of multi-base figures. But it's one of my favorite Colossals that were in Avengers Infinity, and that is Giant Girl. So most playable, in my opinion, at 10 points. She is Avengers and Celebrity. She, hopefully, most people should know what she does. I don't have to explain too in depth. But she has charge, 10 attack, 17 defense with combat reflexes, and 3 damage on a 10-point figure who can also, I mean, if you want to just use her as Avengers filler, she can carry somebody out. Like, if you really just want to even use her that way, you can. But this is what I say you should do. All right. So she can heal. Whenever she KOs an opposing character, you roll d6, and she heals half the result. How do we get her in the prime spot to heal? By the way, she is Indom. In case you were wondering, she's not nuts enough. She has traded Colossal Retaliation. So it is a power action to activate. But that means you can keep her in the back the entire time, like a lot of Colossal Retaliators you're going to use. And she just pops out of nowhere, and if you just want to finish somebody off that attacks someone last turn, like you knock whatever, like Wolverine or something to his last click, boom, she finishes him off. 10 on 17 is pretty darn good odds. Finish him off, she heals. All she has to do is heal once to be annoying, all right? Because then you took a 10-point character and made it have, like, potentially 4 clicks, most likely about like 3 clicks. So the more you heal, the worse her stats get. But A, you get more health, so it's absolutely ridiculous. So if you only heal 1, she has +1 to attack, and now she has sidestep and quake. So next turn, if they don't deal with this 10-point figure right now, there's going to put a lot of hurt on, because right now she only has 1 token because she teleported all the way over here to punch your guy in the face and heal. I can't say enough nice things about her. I think she's amazing. She's based on one of my favorite versions of Janet Van Dyne. And I absolutely love this style. I love how annoying she is. I love that you can play her in competitive and you can play her in casual. No one's going to get angry at you if you're playing a Giant Girl. They might be like, oh, you're playing Mangog again. Come on, dude. Destroy my team in 1 turn because it's just casual. But if you're playing Giant Girl at 10 points, no one's going to, like, roast you for it, And if you're playing her in competitive, she's a super solid, just an amazing addition to any competitive team. Take it away, Jamie.
Yeah, no, she is really good. I really championed Giant Girl spam there for the longest time. I was like,
he did, guys.
Give me 15 Giant Girls for 150 points and 150 points of something else. it worked really good with these main set ones. The thing that I caught the most people off guard with is the fact that she doesn't have the colossal indifference. Like, she can attack smaller characters for 10 points. Nobody understood that. Every time I played her, they'd run somebody up right beside her and not understand, and then next thing they knew, they were getting squished.
Yep.
And then you have the single click bystanders, like the Starro fights, the Walking Woods, stuff like that. She's really good for taking out those and then just healing. With as long as they're not targeting her with the Starro fights and stuff like that. But she's really good for cleanup, just like you said. She's phenomenal. I can't say that is probably the Colossal I've played most in my entire Clix career. That's how much I've liked her, and she's only been out a year. She's just phenomenal. So the next up on mine is Batman the Animated Series number 52, Batgirl, Shadow of the Bat. She's 70 points, has the Batman Ally team ability, 4 range dual target, has 8 movement with sidestep, 10 attack, 18 defense with super senses, and indomitability, 3 damage with prob. Batman family and Gotham City keywords. Not the most desirable keywords ever, but not terrible. She has improved movement, ignores hindering, and elevated, and she is a title character. She starts with 2 plot points. She has a -1, which is free half speed move. So basically it's like a pseudo charge type thing, but it's a free move. Then she has a -2, which is outwit. When Batgirl uses it, after resolution, she can use charge at no cost, but only to attack the target she targeted with outwit. That's her thing. Is she's sort of like Sam Cap in that respect, where you can carry her across the field with your overdrive or Pip the Troll or whoever it is you like, outwit somebody, and she just has to target them. So even if it's like somebody with Quintessence or Power Cosmic, you just target them with outwit. Then she can use charge after she was carried, 14 squares or whatever. So that's phenomenal. And then she has her -3, which is free make a close attack, targeting each opposing character within range and line of fire, regardless of adjacency. Instead of normal damage, hit targets are given an action token. So that's not bad, not great either. It's sort of like infinite target in cap. And then her +1 is perplex. So she's just not bad. And then her if she gets KO'd, opposing characters modify attack +1 for the rest of the game. She's 7 clicks long for 70 points. Never drops below a 10 attack. Always has some way to deal decent to okay damage. I just like her a lot. I like the fact that I like things where you can carry them and then do free actions, and she's got that in spades for me.
So the more I look at this figure, the more I have nice things to say about it. Almost 20 square reach with TK, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Is insane. And the more I look at it, I just figure out there's not a single bad click on the style. It's like, I don't want to land that on the 4th click or whatever. 4 and 5, sidestep close combat expert. Top dial, sidestep, 18 defense, 3 damage. 2nd click, running shot, again, 3 damage. Oh, I don't have 3 damage? Oh, but I still have running shot with in-cap with 2 bolts? Are you kidding me? I'm like, I only have 1 damage on the last click? Well, yeah, you got 11 attack for Sizzle Strike with charge, you dummy. She's insane. And, by the way, improved movement. Ignores elevated and hindering the whole dial. Besides that, at any point, she can have perplex, all right, or free half-speed move. So that gives her insane reach. Not to mention, the rest of these all make her make an attack, right? So you're not really taking damage by using an ability unless you use perplex and then don't do anything. The free half-speed moves, makes you want to attack in that same turn, right? The outwit makes you use charge, so you have to attack. And then, of course, the free make a close attack targeting each opposed character. Like, she's made to be an attacker, so she's one of the few title character abilities. Thor also, he has to make an attack to activate his, but she makes you have to attack. So there's no just using one of these abilities, be like, okay, I gotta take another damage if I use this ability. No, you are making attacks with her. You're not taking damage. And even if you do 7 clicks, I don't know why, but 5 feels short. You add 2 to it, it feels trudgingly long, especially with super senses for 4 clicks and toughness for 3 clicks. I need to get my hands on one of these, because the more I look at her, the more I see her, I want to play her more. And she's amazing. If you haven't played her yet, I absolutely say go out and do it.
Yeah, I like her. And that 18 defense is deceptively hard to hit up front.
Oh, yes.
Especially with prob to make him re-roll it.
18 defense with stealth, prob, and super senses.
Yep.
Get out of town.
Yep.
From my list, this is like top 4, all right, guys? Now, this dude is on here because of a certain movie that came out where some purple grape snapped, all right? So that is why this guy is on here, because I want to own 1 million of him. I already have 15, but it's not enough. I'm talking about Secret Wars Battle World, the common number 14, Outrider. So for 35 points, no special combat symbols, doesn't really matter. Assassin, Black Order, Minions of Thanos, and the monster keyword, probably the best is monster. Improved movement, the entire dial can move through blocking terrain and destroys it as it moves through it. The only bad thing is he doesn't have moves through hindering, because he does have stealth for the first 2 clicks. His special attack power, so let me just say the first 2 clicks. Stealth, super senses, and shape change, alright? So even if that's with a 16 defense, you still have 2 rollouts. He takes damage, his last 2 clicks. Flurry, Blades, still has super senses, and then Perplex. Oh, absolutely amazing. I love this little 35-point generic. And then, why he is such good tie-up is because A, he has 2 rollouts, which is already annoying, but he has a special attack power in his first 2 clicks. Adjacent opposing characters can only target themselves or characters named Outrider with Outwit, Perplex, Probability Control. You're going against X-Men, they can't even use Perplex at all, because most of their Perplex says to target another friendly character with Perplex. They can't do that, so they can't use Perplex. Target them without wit, okay, you're taking away one of my things, or maybe you're taking away my special power. But oh wait, I'm in stealth, so actually you can't. Oh, boo-hoo, cry yourself to sleep. Now, all you can use is really probability control, or, potentially Perplex, depending on who you are. I think for what he nerfs and what he does and how fun he is for tie-up, besides that, owning a lot of them is just so much fun. I had to put him somewhere on my top 10 list.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the better figures. He does have improved movement, ignores hindering, though. I want to put that out there for you.
That's right.
So,
he does actually
he is good. Well, I thought he only had improved movement, ignores blocking until I had to play against him and got taken to Pound Town because he does indeed ignore hindering.
Nice.
But yeah, no, he's just good. The ability to make it so that the only corner case that I can think that you didn't cover is like if he's adjacent to an opposing character that has prob and is like, let's say, double token, so they can't really attack him anyway, and your opponent makes an attack roll and misses, they can't target their other friendly character with prob because that's not them or the Outrider. So he's just really good. The 2 rollouts are surprisingly effective. And then if you do get off that, he's got Flurry and Blades and Perplex. So there's literally no downside to this figure for 35 points that I can find. So I guess it's my turn next. We're going to talk about one, Starro, the convention exclusive, specifically at 100 points because, well, that's just where he's popular at.
Yeah.
He's got Quintessence team ability, 10 range, triple target, 6 movement with a special, 11 attack with a special, 18 defense with invincible, 1 damage, cosmic, ruler, secret society supervillains. I hear cosmic keywords pretty good. I don't know for sure. He has 2 traits and a special on his attack, movement, attack, and defense. His first special doesn't matter because I haven't seen anybody competitively run him with the Starro minions. But it's pretty cool if you run them with them. They get to make a free... friendly characters with Starro minion in their name can use willpower at the beginning of your turn. If Starro took damage since your last turn, choose a friendly character with a Starro minion in their name. This turn, that character has free make an attack. I don't know how many people that are actually going to be able to attack the Starro anyway to make this a thing, but it's pretty good. Then his other trait is Colossal Indifference, which only affects his 20-point line, which you're never going to play him at. Then his special on his movement is Warped Loyalty, Sidestep, Mind Control. When Starro uses Mind Control, you may KO a Starro fight bystander adjacent to an opposing character. If you do, Starro may target that opposing character regardless of range and line of fire. Targets of Starro's Mind Control modify defense -1 for each Starro fight bystander adjacent to them. That's crazy. So it's regardless of range and line of fire. It doesn't take an action to pop the Starro fight at all. And then if you pop the Starro fight and he's adjacent to 3 other figures, then you get to use all 3 of your targets to mind control with your 11 attack, which is really good. Then his special on his attack is Starro's Spread. Whenever Starro hits, generate a Starro fight bystander adjacent to each hit character. Power, generate 3 Starfight bystanders at the beginning of your turn. If there are 6 Starfight bystanders on the map, heal Starro 1 click. Maximum 6 Starfights bystanders on the map. You may generate up to that number. So, basically what this means is you run up your first Starfight, you pop them, you mind control 3, you get 3 Starfights back. Which is just phenomenal. You could power action generate 3 Starfight bystanders, but I don't see any reason to really ever do that unless you really are just getting greedy at the very beginning of the game and have like an overdrive to carry them. And then the special on his defense is his stop click Colossal Retaliator. But yeah, no, there's a reason this guy's just phenomenal. For 100 points, you get 8 clicks. I don't really think I need to say more than that. And he has that special on his movement and his attack for all but his very last click. Calder, what do you got on this one?
Dude, okay, so I don't know if my visual disgust was enough to show how I feel about Starro. So let me break it down for you, okay? 100 points. He has 18 defense. A 20 if he's with a certain, sexual predator, Starfox. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because so he's sitting like at a 20 invincible. We're gonna say in the best case scenario against you, right? I hate sitting across from this guy, dude. I've had it up to here with Starro. I know too many people that own a Starro now. I remember the days where it's like, oh, there's like 5 Starros in America, and I might play against one of them. That felt pretty good. Now they're just all over the place, and I hate it. So, okay, 20 defense invincible. You gotta hit this guy. 1, 2, 3. Takes 3 damage. He lands on impervious. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to hit him at least 3 times, and that is if you have an insane damage value. And besides that, if you just start saying, oh, power action, I made more little dudes. Oh, second turn, I'll power action again. Now I got 6, boom, heal. I hate this dude. I hate this dude so much. Besides that, he has a 10 range mind control. Anything that can first turn drop the tank on me, I absolutely hate, because that sucks getting a tank dropped on your first turn. And you said you're really not using him at 20, and I would agree. For 100 points, he does so much more, but even at 20, he Colossal Retaliates over across the map. He mind controls some of your team, right? And then if you want to, for a power action, he can mind control one of your Colossals. All he has to do is just mind control and move Mangog, and then he's not pulling the Odin Sword this game. And if he moves him, he can also attack. Gross. He can mind control. He mind control other Colossals to take out other Colossals, since they can hit each other, and just make your opponent's team that much worse. I hate this dude. Like, there's really not a bad click on this guy's style. Maybe 5 through 7 aren't great because he only has 10 attack, whatever. But he's so annoying for 100 points. Like, on a Cosmic Theme team, it's Starro, him, Lockjaw. The amount of damage you have to do to put out a third of their team is it's just annoying. I don't have any more nice things to say. Hopefully I haven't said anything nice, because this is audible disgust. Albeit you're like, oh wow, you're really singing his praises. Yeah, I am, because he's annoying and I hate playing against him.
Yeah.
Next. Okay.
Yeah. Well, hopefully people paid attention and go get themselves a Grey Ghost, so they don't have to worry about it as much.
There you go.
All right. So who you got next?
This is the top 3, ladies and gentlefolk. Apache Chief is my 3rd place. Why? Because I like Apache Chief. All right. That's it. That's the only reason why. I think he's awesome. I wish we would have gotten a big sculpt version, so him and Giganto were more the same size. But where we're at right now is fine. He has charge. He has quake. He has toughness. He has an 18 toughness for the first 4 clicks. Doesn't have toughness. He has super senses. You're not really playing him too much for what's on the dial. You're playing him for the traits. He has the occasional weakness, but that's only against tiny symbols, so who cares? Does not matter. What you're playing him for is this awesome Nuck Chuck trait. Free, the Apache Chief has Starburst, which is what he starts with. He gains Giants. Then, free, if he has Giant, he gains Colossal Symbol. So, second turn, he's getting Colossal Symbol. On the 3rd turn, if he already has Colossal Symbol, if you've been paying attention, hopefully you've been giving him these tokens, give him a Big Man token. Now that he has a Big Man token, he is Colossal, and he increases his Giant reach by +1 and his attack by +1, all right? So, when he attacks a character with a Giant or Colossal symbol, you also modify his damage value by +1 for each Big Man token on his card, and his size cannot be changed for any other effect. So, if like Mixie is trying to make you small, they're like, no, I'm a big man, all right? I'm a big man. Besides that, he basically has like a map square reach. Conservatively, he has a 6 square reach at max with a 13 attack. Quake? Are you kidding me? This guy's awesome. I think for 50 points, 6 clicks, and how cool he can be if you just sit him back is awesome. I think also as Trouble Alert, he's great. Quake, he's not the best Trouble Alert. That's a fact. Okay, guys. Firestorm, Flash, whatever, they are better. But I've seen this guy used to in the ROC Welcome event, you were allowed to have Trouble Alerts on your sideline for sealed, and one of my teammates, Kevin Nelson, used him to clear all these Tyrannus bystanders off of his Title 4, which opened up 4. So as a Trouble Alert, if you were dealing, like, once again, let's say Trouble Alert, have this guy just for free on your sideline, Starro's there, and you want to get rid of all these stupid Starro fights because they're giving you a migraine. You just Quake and get rid of all those little buggers, all right? I absolutely love Apache Chief. There's not enough nice things to say about him. That's all I'm.
Yeah, no, I like him a lot. Like you said, not the strongest of the Trouble Alerts, but he's not bad. For 50 points, he's really hard to ignore, especially if your opponent realizes how out of control those Inuk Chuck tokens can get. The big man tokens.
Yeah.
And the 18 defense isn't really a joke at 50 points. You know, they're having to commit a sizable amount of resources to try to KO this guy, because for 50 points he's 6 clicks, which is actually pretty good. And then he's got a charge on top of his giant reach in Quake, so you what's he got, like a 13 swing or something like that.
Exactly. It's nuts.
Yeah, so he's just good. I like him overall. He's a fun figure, and the first time we've gotten him ever. So,
exactly.
Yeah, so definitely should have been on for just that. All right, so it's my turn, and this is the last of mine, but I think you had this one too, so that's how this is going to work out, that you don't get like a bunch in a row. My next one is the Blackbird Jet. Just because of how dominant X-Men were because of this guy. They were getting to be belligerent with Lilia Cheney. Is that how you say her name?
Yes, Lilia Cheney, yeah. I assume.
She was getting a little belligerent, but this just took it over the top. I have him at the 55-point dial. 10 movement with stealth, 0 attack, 16 defense, energy shield, 0 damage and power, new mutants and X-Men keywords, passenger 5, adjacent friendly characters modify range +2, modify Blackbird's defense if it moved during your last turn, and then, you know, when it's wrecked, if they have the X-Men keyword, they don't take damage. And, you know, on top of that, they get plus 1 stats depending on who and what they are. This is just, it's solid. And then on top of that, you have the resource style that we almost forgot to talk about on it last time we tried to do this video, to quote unquote real boy the ID cards you bring in. This thing's just phenomenal. There's nothing really that I can say about it that hasn't been said. There's a reason it was so dominant. Starro's kind of making people take pause for running this particular team because they got to stay clustered. But I think once people figure out Starro, we're going to start seeing this guy again, because it was too powerful of a team to just kind of chill on the sideline and not get run.
So now it's my turn to talk about Blackbird was my second. Like I loved using the Blackbird, but I used him at 100 points, and let me tell you why. All right, so he has +3 to move, and I used him with Sam Cap, so that is a 16 movement across the map. Plus, you get enhancement, which is really cool, like right away. Besides that, it brings survivability up, so if you're not using Cyclops and at 100 points, investing 150 in a taxi is a lot. Cyclops is really used on X-Men to just scare them from killing this thing. So that's a 105-point taxi, theoretically, on an X-Men team. To also give you the +2 range, you know, again, dropping the tank in your starting area, second turn or whatever. I hate it. Blah. Hate getting tanks dropped on me, man. I've had it up here with this. It's not a normal problem people should have. So at 100 points, people just don't really know. Like, they know, like, for a fact it has 5 clicks on the back of its, like, 55-point dial, right? Well, 55, because whatever. And for 100 points, it has 13 clicks, and people are like, I don't really know how many clicks it has at 100 points, because they're just not used to it. Anything that kind of makes your opponent pause, I really, really enjoy. Besides that, I like to get a lot of real boys out. Banshee is like my number one. Bam! Put out Banshee as soon as I can. Real boy him. Running shot pulse wave. Take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. That's why I like boom throwing out Banshee right away. And then I've real boyed in because of how much like more depth you get with the 100-point dial. They can't really kill him right away, and they're like, oh, when does it die? I've gotten out a full point Iceman before, and like that stuff, that's the coup de grace, baby. I love that stuff. So he's awesome. He's fun. You can play him with X-Men, and this is another thing that you can play casual, right? Like if you don't play the resource, you're not like doing crazy cheese. You can also play the Blackbird in casual. Like 55 points for a taxi is really awesome but it doesn't break the game if you're not doing the resource and casual. So, and if you just like want to have like Old Man Logan piloted or something fun, you know, like there's all sorts of fun stuff you can be had with this. And also, I still think it's good competitively, albeit, yeah, it's kind of slowed down quite a bit. But I absolutely love Blackbird. It's been on 10 of my teams.
Yeah. I think you could run this on a casual day. Especially like I don't think anybody's gonna raise an eyebrow if you're playing it with New Mutants. Like nobody's gonna say anything.
For sure.
So yeah, definitely on the list, and that leaves you with the last figure for our top 10 of 2018.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna end this with once again personal bias. If you noticed, I kind of like Captain America. I mean, like. Oh, just a smidge, and we got my favorite trio of figures. So this is sort of a cop-out. My number one figure of 2018, for me, is the shifting focus triple set of Captain Americas we got in Secret Wars Battle World. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can, since there's a lot in these figures. So for only 75 points, each figure is 75 with Indom. They all have 6 clicks, all right? Range differs, I think, yeah, 6 and 6 on the first. Okay, so 0 range on the second one, 5 range on the rare, 6 range on the first one. So your main attacker, the character that is putting, you know, people in the ground, who's KOing figs, is the common one, who has both movement and attack modes. So first off, the first trait here is, besides the shifting focus, is free. Choose one. Running shot or close combat expert. Cap can use that power until your next turn. So top dial, he has running shot and charge with a 9 speed, a 12 attack, an 18 defense with combat reflexes, and 3 damage. So he is anything you need. If you're already close, you can use close combat expert and be like a 12-5 or a 13-4. Either one is really going to hurt. Or he can charge move, or he can charge range move to get, you know, a 6-6, pretty much 12 square reach with this guy on running shot, which is awesome. So that's just this Captain America. He also gets flurry and precision strike later, and if you don't want to flurry, you can always just close combat expert precision strike. You know, he can running shot precision strike. He always has movement attack. He's awesome. All right. Second up is the rare. This is the one. Sorry, the uncommon. This is the one I like to use to move up and get into place. So he has sidestep, 10 attack, 18 defense toughness, and 3 damage with shape change. So he has a rollout and he has a damage reducer, which is pretty sweet if you don't know whether or not something may close or what's going to happen. Even if you're not planning on having the ESD from the rare or the combat reflexes from the common, he at least has a rollout and a damage reducer, which is awesome. He's also a pretty good close combat attacker, albeit no range, but he has charge and quake, he has sidestep quake. None of these figures go below 9 attack except for the rare, I think. Yeah. So this guy is solid. What you're using him for is his expandable hard light shield. So he has traded ESD. Sorry, I totally forgot that. So he has 20 from range no matter what. All right, that's awesome. Free. Choose one to last till your next turn. Adjacent friendly characters modify defense value by +1. Or targeted by a range attack, so your whole team gets +1, right? Whoever's adjacent, sorry. Or choose a side of the square that Cap occupies. As long as Cap is in that square, opposing line of fire is drawn through the square blocked. So if he's putting his shield out, he's blocking one line of square. So I ran a team of 3. I have 3 sets of these shifting focus Captain Americas, and for good reason. So for only 250 points, it's like, who's keeping track here? Not really 250, sorry. No, yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna do math. It's just gonna make me look dumb. All right, it's like 220, 225. Sorry, there we go. Yeah, 37. Okay, yeah, 225. If you put these guys on like that bridge Asgardian map, people are like, "Oh, this guy's a dunce." I'm sorry. That bridge Asgardian map, if they don't have doors blocking, you can boom make a line. No one can attack you from range, which is awesome for the approach. Or if you put it on the train station map and no one has improved elevated, or if they can't get close to you, which is pretty tough to do on that train station map, then that wall of blocking is sick, folks. All right, so this guy's the approach. He's got sidestep, shape change, ESD, all sorts of stuff. So the rare, he's not making any attacks ever. If you are making an attack with the rare, you are truly desperate, my friend. So this guy has a trait, the Triangle Shield, Leadership. When Captain America uses it, you may give him an action token. If you do, increase the result by +2. I'm going to assume that you have to be a gambling man and give him the token right away, and then do the result by +2. There's an argue back and forth about you can do before and after. For me, I'm just going to say, you got to do it before, okay? His special damage power, he has the entire dial, which is pretty cool. He also has 3 damage the entire dial, so his damage output is consistent, at least. When Captain America uses leadership and succeeds, choose a combat value except damage. Friendly characters within 5 squares that share a keyword, so invaders, howling commandos, past, and soldiers. Soldier is probably the best at all these. That share a keyword, or any Secret Wars Battle World Captain America on your sideline. Modify the combat value by +1. So you can give all these guys on your sideline. This is why I like to play like a bunch of them. give them all +1 to attack. So now that common Captain America is a 13-5 damage close combat expert, which is disgusting, you know. Or they all have 19 defenses plus combat reflexes or ESD or whatever you want to do. So I think that's always awesome. And it makes this guy just that much better to play. If you're just playing one Captain America, then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to choose attack. I'm going to switch to this guy. 13 attack is never bad, like ever in the history of ever. So I just think the way these guys all mesh together is really awesome. I can't wait to see in 2019 what Captain Americas get added, hopefully, fingers crossed, to the shifting focus stuff. So, you know, I've talked your ear off about these Captain Americas. I love them. I'm biased, but I also think they are incredibly solid for competitive or casual.
Yeah, I have to agree. I liked them enough where I did a whole video on them and how good they were.
Yeah.
And at a sealed WizKids Open, I pulled a set of all 3 of them and put all 3 of them on my team. They were just there so I could have an Avengers theme team, and I ended up 5th, but the top 3 places all already had Nationals bids. So I feel like, you know, that's like I did better than my place showed.
Right.
But they're just really solid. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I think individually, if you're going to play them individually, which I don't know why you would, but if for some reason shifting focus was too complicated, I'd go with the common one. And if you're only looking to play 2, I'd go common and uncommon. And then if you're feeling really spicy and think you know the game pretty well, throw in that 3rd one. Because he does bring a lot to the table for support type things if you're good at figuring out when to use the shifting focus and maintain action economy and stuff like that. So I think he's really solid. I think some people are sleeping on him. 75 points, I think to some people feels like a lot, but I've never seen him pull less than 75 points off the board for me.
For sure.
So yeah, that is the top 10 for each of us for 2018. Calder, do you have any honorable mentions or worst figure 2018? Something you just want to put out there for everybody?
Man, worst figure 2018 is the Black Widow from Secret Wars Battle World. That was terrible to pull. She was absolute garbage. I hated her. I hated pulling her. She's just terrible. Yeah. My honorable mentions, I'm going to make it 2. I didn't have 2 last time. So they're both from TMNT. I feel bad not talking about anything from Unplugged because those starter Leonardos, I played a team of like 4 of these guys against somebody. They are like awesome. I mean, Blade Scout Strength, Exploit Weakness, leadership, charge, all that stuff, and with the whole continued tokens is awesome. And what I forgot to mention last time is, albeit not like a figure, but like this is an all-star Pog, is Mudman. He's ridiculous, dude. Yeah. Seeing Mudman on a team for only 20 points, and they're shooting across, you're like, great, now I gotta kill Shape Change Super Senses twice. Like, God, why do you gotta make me do that, man? Come on, seriously. So Mudman's annoying. If he makes 1 KO, I just realized they have his coloring way off. He has super strength, but it says Quake, and he has like Prob color, or maybe I'm blind, I don't know. But Mudman's dumb. So those are my 2, Leonardo and Mudman from the Fast Forces.
Okay,
that's crazy.
Those are good picks. Mudman's definitely good, and I those Leonardos are good. I like that whole starter set actually, but
that Shredder. I want to see someone use that Shredder.
Yeah, he's good. But for me, my honorable mentions would be 2 groups of figures. Would be the Trouble Alert. Just because nobody main forces them, so I didn't feel like it was really a top 10 figure if you didn't main force it. So there's no reason to not run them if you have them because they don't cost you any points. They do count as part of your sideline, but if you don't have anything on your sideline, run 9 of them. What's it matter to you? And then the other thing are the X-Men faculty characters like Cyclops, Wolverine, stuff like that, because you got like 18 different ways to get Wolverine on the board with the ID cards and stuff like that. But definitely those. As far as worst figure, I don't know what the worst figure would be. Maybe it would be a Black Widow, but not the Secret Wars Battle World. Probably the Infinity one.
Ooh, yeah. Poor Black Widow.
Good. This is a bad year for Black Widow.
This really is.
Somebody at WizKids doesn't like Black Widow. If one of us wins World, maybe we'll have to make a Black Widow that's good. Even though I don't know about that. I think it would hurt you. I like
Scarlett Johansson as much as the next guy. But.
Yeah. But, all right, Calder, so if people wanted to find you somewhere other than on this program, where would they find you?
All right, you guys ready for some sweet plugs? Here it is. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter if you just want to follow our social media. We like to post dank memes, as the kids say. I'm already going to get roasted for saying the word dank in a video in 2018. I know, I'm sorry. I'm terrible. So follow us on there if you just want to get like news updates. I like to share stuff. It's awesome. And if you want to listen to the podcast, if you want more of this sexy voice, but not so much this face, you can find us on Podbean and you can find us on iTunes. You can say, hey Siri, play the latest episode of the Dial H for Heroclix podcast, and she will play it because she knows what great podcasts are. And that's where you can find us. We also have a Patreon if you want to give us money. I don't know why, but if you think that we entertain you or make you giggle and laugh and you want to throw a buck our way, we would appreciate it more than anything in the world. I mean, that's just the best. And I can speak for almost every content creator. $1 from anyone is awesome. It super helps. And if you want to get swag, I know, now I'm going to get flash for saying swag in 2018. But if you want like merch, whatever, from us, I do have a Redbubble store. I am not a Photoshop master. I am not an artist. I just put our logo on some stuff. So if you just want our logo, I get 10% commission from it. So when it's sold and it's shipped to you, then I get like $2 or whatever you buy. So if you want a Dial H t-shirt or a mug or a phone case, or if you want to get a throw pillow that you're going to burn or something and like fold over sideways on the couch, do that. So that is where you can find all sorts of Dial H. We're a podcast and we like to have fun.
There you go. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, and I'm Mr. Clicksflix. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Clicksflix. There's a Mr. Clicksflix Facebook group. If you just type in Mr. Clicksflix on Facebook, it will come up. And then you can follow me. Make sure you subscribed. You should have Hulk smashed that subscribe button already if you didn't.
Smash that.
And then we also have a Patreon page at patreon.com/Mr. Clicksflix, where we have exclusive downloadable content, monthly giveaway, some cool little stuff that goes on there. So go ahead and check that out. We have different tiers, as little as $1 a month, or for $12 a month you get tokens and stuff like that. But like Calder said, even $1 is really helpful for stuff like this. So all right, guys, that's all we have for you today. As always, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.
Happy trails.